Hello and welcome to the 11th episode of the Dice for Brains podcast. I'm Ross Rockefeller. This is an actual play podcast told in an episodic structure through the course of a season. For the first season, we'll be telling a story set in the Star Wars universe, using Fantasy Flight Games' Star Wars Force and Destiny. Season 1 of the Dice for Brains podcast is brought to you by D20 GameSpot in St. Augustine, Florida. All music is composed and performed by Jared Pennick at Z-Chord Studios in Gainesville, Florida. iTunes listener XGC Jace writes, "This is definitely one of the best actual plays out there now. Please, everyone needs to listen to this podcast." Thanks, Jace. We appreciate the enthusiasm. And thanks so much for leaving a review on iTunes. If you want to send us an email, you can send it to diceforbrains@gmail.com or head over to the website, diceforbrains.com, and use the Contact Us link. Now, let's meet the cast and get on with the episode.
My name's David Wright. I'm playing Zen Malek, the Nautilin Mystic Force Exile.
We need to roll some conflict for everybody.
Right.
So Zen, my friend, he picked up 12 points of conflict.
Goodness. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So I have to roll over 12 on a D10.
Yep.
Good luck.
All right. I got a 4.
All right. That's not terrible. So that's -8.
-8. Oof. I'm down to 43.
You also spent some experience, if I'm not mistaken. Why don't you tell us what Zen picked up?
All right. So we did some training with T6. So I picked up a point of lightsaber.
That's right.
I did quite a bit of speeder bike flying. So I picked up a point of splitting planetary. And I'm going to keep 20 in the can.
Always a good thing rolling into Act 3.
Hi, I'm Susan White. I'm playing the character of Bear the Lesser. She's a fisher person on her home planet of Bava, and she's a warrior.
Excellent. And Bear picked up 13 points of conflict last episode.
Okay.
So I'm going to need you to roll a D10, and we're going to see what happens to Bear's morality.
Here we go.
That is not great.
Did she roll a 1?
She did. All right, so your morality goes down 12 points.
Cue Vader's theme.
Mm-hmm.
43.
43.
We are identical.
Uh-oh, look at that.
Makes sense.
Actually, it does, and yet it's completely random, so that's amazing.
Well, she spent 10 points of experience on a strength upgrade for her force power of influence. And I thought that a little more practice with her brand new lightsaber would not be a bad thing too. So she upgraded her lightsaber rank to 2 at a cost of 10 points. That leaves me with 20 points.
Hey there, Joshi Reynolds. I'll be playing Gree Tickus, the Artisan Sentinel Twi'lek. And he starts off with a morality rating right now at 43 before I roll. And you graced me with, I'm sure it was hardly any.
It actually was surprisingly light. You got 7 points.
That is really light.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have a chance to actually go up if I roll real well. Of course I will, but I don't. I rolled a 6. So that's a net of negative of 1 point. So I'll go from 43 to 42, which is the number I wanted anyway.
That's right. That is in an episode, I believe. I don't know which one. I want to say 4, but you had mentioned
42, the answer.
Excellent.
And Gree spent his experience on stealth for 1. So that went up from a ranking of 1 to ranking of 2. And he also upgraded his computers because he was doing a lot of computers and mechanical stuff. But I went with computers. So I increased that from a rank of 1 to 2. And he was practicing with a blaster, and he was actually in a gunfight. So I increased his ranged light from 1 to 2. And that leaves me with 10 experience points in the can, if I need to use them in something in the future.
You didn't pick up lightsaber?
Oh, that's right, I did. I picked up 1 point in lightsaber. I gained that from, and also from Bear. Watching her do it the right way was very influential.
All right. Where we left off, you guys were in the training room at Tenga's secret base.
Yes.
Having just dispatched a droid.
Poor droid. Are we going to be able to fix the poor? I feel bad now that we've stabbed the droid. I didn't expect it to get out of hand.
Why do you feel bad? Do you forget who set the droid on you?
Look,
here's the thing, though. The droid was just a weapon. It had no agency in the attack. I feel bad for the droid, too.
I don't feel bad in the slightest.
Yeah, INV-88 he sent me some sort of like message as soon as we were tussling with the droid, and it went into overdrive, started rocketing around the room.
Yeah, and you had you went to the armory, met Weewa.
The Celestin.
And she, we got.
I kind of feel bad for her.
Yeah,
I don't.
Bear lost her ever-loving mind on that.
Bear
lady.
lost her. You saw some of that cruelty that people hear about from time to time.
I think it was more of a time-sensitive, liberal use of supernatural prowess.
I hate red tape.
You met a friend too, right?
Singe, Carver Singe.
Carver Singe, and he flies the Singer.
In the
Who was
center.
going to teach us how to fire a blaster, and I didn't pick up anything apparently because I didn't spend any of my experience on blaster.
It's definitely
It's
not
gonna
honest.
get him killed.
I used to like
hope.
firing blasters until I acquired a lightsaber. Now I care only about using the lightsaber.
All right,
Exactly.
so kind of spent the night in the droid training room, getting your training on to justify some of that XP expenditure, and then headed back to the barracks to work on armor and meditate, center yourself, that kind of stuff. As you guys leave the training room, like this place is pretty jam-packed now. A lot of scum and villainy from across the Anoat sector.
I love
have
it.
Returned home. There's just fighters piled outside. There's no sense in hiding any of this. Plus, there's way too much of it to hide right now. The place is packed with droids, humans,
Right. So
different
there's
aliens.
more than they had room for in the hangar.
When you get back to the barracks area, it's pretty jammed packed. But all your stuff is safe because thieves code and whatnot.
I am going to do a bit of the meditation thing and all of that, but I'm also going to spend some time just glad-handing, meeting criminals,
All right.
reintroducing myself to faces I know
Sure.
because they've been in the system,
Yeah.
meeting their friends,
Yeah, Carver walks you around a bit too.
Yeah.
just being.
being
I
the
have,
awesome Zen that Zen is.
yeah.
Yeah. People do like you.
How does that?
I never got it. I
does
didn't
Bear-
figure it out.
How does Bear spend the rest of the night?
Bear is going to spend the rest of the night meditating.
Okay.
She is not cool with going around saying hey to people she doesn't know, so she's going to leave that to Zen.
Yeah, and you can't really bust out T6 in a barracks full of criminals. I mean, that code only goes so
good,
far.
Yeah.
Unless she wants something, she doesn't like talking to people.
Right.
I don't remember where T6 was last. I think maybe in my pocket.
Believe so.
Before I go
Mistaken.
talking to a bunch of criminals, I'm going to hand it to Bear.
Perfect. Bear has the lightsaber and the holocron
Yes.
and is meditating with jelly in her lap and a sign that says venomous with 2 up arrows.
Nice.
I figured Green probably did that when he
It's
walked
like,
by.
yeah, and here's, yeah. Do not tease the caged tiger.
There's a pile of junk that INV has acquired for you by your little assigned betting.
Oh, good old INV. Guffy little noisy droid. So I
That tried to kill us.
well,
So the plan was, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to go rescue Ran and your mother.
Yeah, that's definitely my top priority right now is to get my family to safety. Pretty much willing to do whatever I have to.
No, it's a very good
Yes.
plan. We're going to storm the prison, get the prisoners out, and then run away.
Well, it wasn't a prison. You from
right,
the
it's the space
newsreel, yeah, they've got them all at the spaceport right now because they're about to move them off planet.
yeah, and we want
So
to
it's a
get
very
there.
Yeah,
time-sensitive rescue mission.
it's very
We need to get there
time-sensitive.
before they ship everyone off world. They're probably from the newsreel. Were we able to determine how many people we're talking about that were
In the
there?
footage, it was a
looked like-
line of people, so there were a dozen, but you couldn't see the front or the back of the line necessarily.
It
so.
could be 20 people. It could be 100. We don't know.
Spaceport's not that big, so probably not 100.
Okay.
Any
Yeah.
number of them could know how to fire a blaster, or I've fired a blaster without knowing how. We should all go fully kitted out.
Yeah, that's
Like
good
with
plan.
a blaster on each hip, maybe a rifle slung over the back, just so that we could toss them to people.
We could distribute weaponry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and
nothing that's
Jing-
new, nothing that's too unwieldy. But just if we deck out like we know what we're doing, then we'll have the weapons to hand out.
Yeah.
Even if we're only using, like I know how to use my little holdout.
We
blast.
should do some recon.
Okay, yeah, that does sound like a good plan.
Pull
Did-
plans.
We need to find
you
out
can do some
how
stuff.
the port is being guarded.
Yep. Although you probably don't have time for this kind of.
It's happening in the morning.
I don't know if you got the time for as much as you need. I mean, you can pull some
might be
stuff
able to-
from the
we could
Pull stuff off the
up there.
holonet. Take
Yeah.
a look at the where
Take a
we
look
think
at-
they're probably holding the prisoners.
Yeah.
Based on the newsreel.
That's
If
cool.
there's any new newsreels, we'll check those out.
Yeah.
Seeing which direction we'll probably try to swoop in from. If there's like if one section, I mean, it's a spaceport, right? So it's probably not not near a lot of debris or anything. Criminals that are milling about, they're going to attack something. They're probably going to attack.
Well, they're probably attacking the forward operating.
Yes, or maybe the governor's house as well. But they're going to make a big assault, and that will probably draw a lot of attention away from just guarding these schlubs.
Also,
that we're
I
trying to
did see
rescue.
1 or 2 starships, so I imagine this is going to be a fairly large operation.
Yeah.
We have starships.
But
Well,
we don't.
They do.
They have starships.
Yeah, they're parking them out there. There's like different. I'm picturing like different modes of Corellian transport. With different mods on them in the Millennium Falcon.
I actually saw a
Y-wing.
Z95 headhunter.
Yeah,
out
most
there.
of them are actually little tight starfighters.
Yeah.
You see some like some hawks, that kind of stuff. Some hobbled together, uglies, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
uglies
yeah.
are like
A
pieced
garage-
together,
a
like
garage
X-wings
Y-wings
and
is
yeah,
those
yeah,
things.
exactly. Yep. Yeah, there's probably some maybe a repurposed Y-wing or two.
I
Maybe.
actually saw a
They're around.
Z95 headhunter out there. Those things are old.
That thing is tight though. Look at that guy.
I think what we're going to be relying on is for Tenga and his men doing all the heavy lifting while we zip into the starport, grab the prisoners, and zip out. Like I said, it's a very good plan. I think it's going to work out great.
Okay, but one of my goals is also to free all the other people. This is a lot of people that we have to get out of the
Out of the space
spaceport
the space station.
turn
There's
prison.
just-
Tenga's going to attack the forward operating base, creating a distraction that's somewhat far away from the spaceport, I guess. We probably should create another sort of a distraction that's at the spaceport. We don't necessarily have to blast the front doors in. We could go in from underneath.
Okay. Maybe we can. Like using
Mines and tunnels, and also I can talk to the worms and maybe get their help, because they're probably pretty mad at the Imperials, and they wouldn't mind helping us out.
Worm. There's one in the area as far as I know.
That's right. We
I
don't know where the other 3 are.
Take out the map of the tunnels that we have
Okay.
and see if I can, using that in my data pad map of the city, to see if the tunnels go near the starport.
Okay.
Roll it. Education.
Education. I happen to have education. And
Difficulty will be 3.
3.
It sounds like Bear is helping.
It does sound like Bear's helping though.
Just
So
wanna
you
put
get to
that
use
out there.
Bear's intelligence. It's a
All
group
right,
roll.
since Bear's helping me, I'm going to use her intelligence of 3, my education of 1. I don't believe anybody else has a higher.
Checking out the smartness on you.
And I failed with 2 advantage.
Okay.
So you can't tell if the tunnels go there or not, but what are your 2 advantages?
The 2 advantages are, while I'm comparing and contrasting the notes, I see 2 distinct exit points in the star port. Ways we could get out.
All right, so there's a maintenance hatch for the communications array on top of the spaceport, and there is a back door that is used for the food court. Get some of the ketos in and out that way.
Okay.
So they don't have to bring
right
them
through the
main.
keto cages.
Yeah, they don't have to bring them in through the main thing. Since you're looking at the map, the spaceport layout's kind of small. It's similar to like a small town airport. There's 4 hangars that are kind of like the 4 ventricles. So there's a main, pathway that leads up the center that splits to the gates. There's a station, a little food area for rest and relaxation. Not that anyone's really coming here for tourism. Most of it, at this point, all of it's just Imperial stuff coming in and out, basically.
Yes.
So there's TIE fighters here, that kind of stuff.
One
But it
thing
used to be a civilian,
Yeah, absolutely.
so it's not as fortified designed as if it was made by the Empire.
Well, right, and the fact that martial law has been declared has kind of upped that. So
Oh yeah.
they have
They're
the
there.
whole spaceport's completely locked down now.
one of the things I want to talk to Tenga about is getting access to maybe a heavy freighter, something that's not going to be good at fighting, that might be good in a pinch. If we need to get all of those people away from the
And evacuation means
Yeah.
Cool.
Something we're going to get into.
Yep.
And I'm trying to tinker around with pieces of armor to come up with like something to give everybody a fighting chance to resist blaster fire.
You don't have enough time to put together armor for everybody. You can
right.
play around with it. It looks cool. So everyone's got like some plate work happening on various
I
outfits.
get like the basic stuff together, but it's not going to be effective yet.
Basically, you might be able to drop a couple of advantages into it.
I'm gonna put-
Well, and it's fashion. You know, everyone else looks kind of scummy and ready for war. Everyone's putting on armor. It makes, I mean, when I'm suiting up for the day, it makes me feel good when I slap on that jacket. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
now.
it's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's it's the gear up scene basically, and like hand out the like,
Pitiful half suits of armor that may or may not get you a soak.
Yeah, like sort of a throat and shoulder guard
Right.
for Bear, a cloak for this guy, and a
Right.
couple of shoulder pads and like elbow or knee pad, or something like that.
Sure.
But I want to put a basically like a red star on them.
Okay.
To identify us as a team.
There we go. All right.
Very good.
A red star.
I'd like to go over the maps from the mine again and see if any of the tunnels come close to Tenga's invisible city.
Not that are on those maps. There are definitely, I mean, there are more than likely just a massive network of tunnels underneath the entire continent. So how much of those are in disarray? What's that like? You know, without thorough planning, it'll be tough. You might just have to, literally roll the dice if you go down there, kind of.
I like the idea of the tunnels if we had more time to plan. I think we might be better off just going across the desert.
It might be a good place to stash the refugees, though. We may have to take them somewhere, just to get them away from the fighting.
Well, the problem with that is taking them down there, we run the risk of them dying of
Poisonous gas and the diseases and stuff. Yeah,
'Cause
or they could be strafed by a TIE fighter if we leave them up.
All right.
And I don't want that to happen.
True.
Yeah, we go looking for Tenga to make sure we set up something in case we need to fly the refugees out.
So the three of you walk back out into the hangar bay. It's jam-packed with starfighters and modified light freighters and that kind of stuff.
And a bunch of humans.
Yeah, people milling about, comparing, hauls, trading stories, drinking.
Okay. So
It's getting late, but
I want to spend all of our light side points, and I go, what is that piece of garbage?
no.
The garbage
How
will
many
do.
do you have? 3?
The garbage will do
If you
nicely.
had all 5, I still wouldn't have given it to you.
Oh, man.
But there are lots of other ships that are cool, so that might happen. You got to cut through the hangar to get to the little stairs up to the walkway. Tenga's been standing on that top catwalk, kind of watching everything. As you're crossing the hangar, you notice pretty much one at a time, people are kind of walking up to Tenga.
And
Trandashans, all sorts of different scum, and walking one at a time and having a brief little conversation with Tenga.
so he's kind of aware that he's holding court with people and solidifying whatever
and
strategies or relationships he needs to.
No, that's not what's happened. Tenga's
Oh.
resting on the armrest of the catwalk, staring down at everybody while people are coming up and whispering empty condolences into his head, and he's just
I gotcha.
not letting it land. But they're coming up and kissing the ring. 'Cause
Yes,
that's what you do.
it slipped my mind his mood.
It didn't slip
Don't,
Tenga's.
No.
I imagine he's probably overwhelmed with that by now. When we get up there, don't mention it. Don't mention his wife.
I wouldn't know what to say.
Excellent.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
We've
Let's go
said
talk.
ours, so we don't have to say it again.
Let's go talk
Okay.
to Tenga.
Well, I guess we try to. I don't know if we need to wait a turn or whatever. But
Somebody had
approach.
just left, so he's standing alone on the catwalk. You guys walk up the stairs.
I'm
That
following
nice-
Bear's lead.
The nice
you know?
tongue as you walk across.
Yeah, it's all like underlit. You can
Yeah.
see like going up there. It's actually kind of dark up here.
And it's almost like it's a borderline party underneath you.
Yeah,
The
so
scene
there's
of
a
the
lot of
hangar.
noise. Some
Yeah.
people gambling and
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like
People
you said,
sabacking
swapping
it up
stories.
under their ships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's getting ready for tomorrow. They know what's coming, so they're having fun tonight.
Yeah, and they seem like seasoned battlers.
Tenga doesn't look at you when you approach, but you can tell he knows you're there.
Of
so.
course.
Hey, Tenga.
Hey.
Rough-looking dudes around this place. Are you sure you can trust them all?
100%. They look bad, but they ain't.
That's good.
That's fair.
Good. We're going to need all the help we can get.
Yeah, I am. But y'all had your own getting on, didn't you?
We do, Tenga. We're going to rescue those prisoners, but we might need to get them out of there before the Empire can cut them down. We might need an exit strategy. You think you have any of these flyboys have a craft that might be able to quickly land? pile a dozen people or so on board and take off with them?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So, what I think y'all are doing is, I think it's dumb. You know that, right?
Well, of course.
All right.
Yeah. Wouldn't be worth doing if it wasn't.
I understand why you want to do it. I just think it's dumb. So here's the thing. You actually get anybody out, you get them back here. Quick as you can. I'll got a ride for you.
Okay, then.
We're hitting the FOB hard in the morning.
Good. That'll make a good distraction.
Y'all have about a 5-minute window. As soon as you see those TIE fighters leave that port, you hit it. You get in quick, you get your kin, and you get out.
God, that's tight.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, I think it's stupid. But I respect you for doing it.
So we'll get them back here, and you'll be able to handle them. But I think we'll have some allies in there, Tenga. Some people will be able to throw in a hand. Some people have got resources that are locked up in there.
Yeah. Some of Jink's men too, but I don't know if they know the comings and goings are out here, so be careful with them.
All right. If they're Jinx men, they probably can handle themselves in a fight. You might take an extra blaster or two just to be able to kind of even the odds and make sure everyone can get out alive.
Armory's yours. You take what you can, but careful with Weewa. She'll rip you off real quick.
Yeah. Also that droid.
What droid?
INV something.
INV something. Yeah. INV 88.
I don't know. I got so many of those things running around here. Who can keep track?
I'm gonna miss that little guffer.
All right, so we're going to have to get over to the spaceport in ships. We still have the speeders, so we could take those.
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't give us a lot of space to like transport anyone. We'll have two people on one speeder.
We're flying
and
to a
one on another
spaceport.
one.
I'm relying on there being a transport there.
I'm thinking we might have to lift a vehicle when we get there.
Y'all should take some people with you. You shouldn't do this yourself. That's just suicide.
Who can we?
We got some ground troop we can spare.
Do you? Point me in the right direction. Who's the?
I figured you might run into Janko's men in binders, so it'd probably be best if you take some of Janko's men that could vouch for you.
All right, sounds like a plan. I'll go down to the floor and ask around.
Nah, I'll cut you the ones I think I can trust.
Okay.
Best let me settle that. I gotta keep an eye on more than one of them.
Good. And do they have a ship we can take?
We'll send them with a bucket or two.
Great.
All right, Tenga.
You're gonna be ground though. We can't spare any starfighters.
Fair enough. We need to stay low. We need to lay low anyway. We don't want these people getting hurt in the rescue.
You get anybody back, you're gonna need to get off rocks, son.
Gotcha, but we need to bring them here.
Yeah.
Okay. We can do that. We can do that.
I love this. This is a great plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
All right, we better go get some sleep, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a short evening tomorrow.
We'll see you in the morning, Tenga.
He nods.
Then I'm strolling away, I guess. Just look at him. Gree's heart really goes out to him, but he also is very important to Gree to rescue Bear's family.
Right.
Anyway, that's that. Anyway, I guess I'm going to just double check the weaponry and stuff. I think, did I trade the light blaster for the heavy blaster?
No, you did not trade anything for that.
We were going to.
You were going to, but
intended to.
Bear tucked your guys' way around that for you.
Well, that means I've got like I've got two blasters, so I do have a sec I can hand off to somebody. I've got another one if we need to find our way out.
So you guys head back to the barracks, get some rest and meditation?
Want to check on Jelly.
Meditation, yeah.
And make sure that Jelly's not getting in trouble or hasn't stung anybody or anything in there.
Jelly's anybody come in here while we were gone? And I receive I was asleep vibe.
Okay. And there's no passed out people like on the floor when we go in with
No.
There are no extra bodies.
Unconscious Rhodian.
Yeah.
There's a wide berth around your stuff, and when you come in, there's that moment where all the conversation kind of stops, and then everyone tries to make it look like conversation didn't stop, and they aren't sitting far away from your stuff because they're frightened of a tiny little creature. But that's exactly what they're doing. You don't even need to roll sense.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I really hope we're going to find out that Jelly is like this really terrifying wild creature that
Everybody else knows about, but
Everyone knows how you...
I'm fairly certain that Tenga has told them to give us leeway, but I just would really like to find out that
Jelly could have popped out and
people are
squeaked
afraid
down.
of space squirrels because they're just so dangerous.
Exactly. You hear the squeal of doom. Green space squirrels come flopping out at you.
All right, so I'm going to try to meditate and foresee.
Okay, let's roll some for C.
So I'm thinking about spending the 10 points on strength for C, unless you tell me you don't think I'll need it.
It's 5 points for the strength.
5
so
points for the strength.
might as well, right? You want whether you want a specific detail or not, my friend. You won't necessarily have to spend it. Why don't you want to roll the force die before you decide? see what's happening.
See if I want to use it.
So tell me what you're doing. So as you guys are meditating, you're preparing for tomorrow in the barracks. Zen is falling asleep and
What kind of... I'm meditating, actually.
meditating. Okay.
I'm meditating about my experience in the game.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about, as a player, it seemed like the absolute right thing to do was the wrong thing to do. How did it feel when I stopped to get the crystal? Like, did that feel like a sense of completion, or...
So when you were swimming, there was the liquid was thick. There was
Right.
resistance. When you stopped, you didn't feel resistance anymore. Does that make sense? Hopefully not. It's supposed to be vague and mysterious.
If that makes sense, Ross.
then I forced it
Ramp
wrong.
it right
yeah,
up
I'm
into-
supposed to keep it really vague so it fits into any situation we encounter later.
So yeah, I'm gonna I'm meditating, and I'm thinking about the sense of release, I guess, that I felt at the end of my experience in the cave when I stopped, and I'm thinking about all of the plans that we've been looking at and things that we're talking about doing, the prisoners, and just thinking about the future and trying to send my intention that way to figure out if there's anything I can glean from the future. And this is rolling my 4C. And I got I can spend 1 light side point.
You can. What came up on
I
the
got a
die?
light
Don't tell me
side-
what you can spend. Tell me
I
what
got a
come up.
light side point and a dark side point.
You got a light side point. So if you tapped into the light side right now, you could sort of get hints about your specific future in the next day.
Right.
Now, but you had mentioned that you wanted to pick out a specific detail.
I was thinking about spending some of the experience I saved on
That would
4C.
cause, you'd have to flip a light side point to be able to just manifest the next level of that power.
Right.
Unless you want to tap into the dark side, and then I'll
Yeah.
give it to you. You can have it. I'm not going to give you the actual strength upgrade, but I'll let you use it on this roll if you use the dark side instead.
Good old dark side, always accessible.
Yeah.
So seductive.
It's not. It's equally as accessible. It's just way more powerful in this instance. I mean, how important is really knowing one specific detail of your future tomorrow
I
to
don't
you?
think one detail is going to make that big of a difference.
Are you sure? One
No.
detail
Only
is a
fools
matter
are
of life
positive.
and death for a lot of people. I'll give you that right now. That's what the dark side is definitely telling you.
Right. And I might regret it, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to do that.
All right, so you're going to use the light side point.
About
You
the future.
get challenges. You're running. There's blaster fire, hallways, being hurt. That's what you get.
Okay. That was vague enough.
It's mysterious and vague.
I go to sleep.
Okay.
When you guys wake up the next day, the secret base is already a bustle. Even though a lot of these scummy type people have a pretty good hangover going on, they're still up in the morning in the galley getting some breakfast going. They make this amazing, like, I wouldn't call it a quiche. It's like an egg sausagey keto sausage kind of thing. It's on a tray. It's amazing. I wish everyone
so
could have some.
Right, it just smells great. That's where Gree's at.
Yeah.
He's getting it helpful.
I've got to interject here. I'm loving the vision of all of these Star Wars criminals hungover with that early morning. I need my coffee. Like Carver Singe, the Wolfman, his hair's all bedheaded
yeah.
out all over his face.
And they're standing politely in line.
They're all waiting in line for their breakfast.
With their bowls for
The
gonna
coffee
eat.
cups.
Yeah. Carver's a chef. He's, kiss me. I'm a dirtbag apron on.
Is it possible that another chef is around?
I'm not. Yes, there
if
is. There are multiple chefs, and they are discussing the methodology behind promptly dehydrating keto.
Okay, because I want to flip one of our points because I hear a familiar chirping of someone who has a lot to say about keto preparation, because I brought that droid, a lot of ketos, and now he's in the galley working away. Here, RT.
All right. So Carver Singe was having a conversation with RT, restaurateur and super droid.
Yes, I
Okay.
call out Artie. You're all in one piece.
What?
I'm gonna hug a droid.
Hello?
Thought I'd never see you again. I'm so happy to see you.
What do you mean?
I thought the Empire had you. I thought those milking nerf herders had grabbed you and taken you away along with everything else that was left in the cafe, in the diner.
Oh yeah, that was just the old.
Yeah, now that you actually look down, his chassis is a little different.
Okay.
He's got 3 arms instead of 4 now.
Okay.
Yeah, just you download.
Oh, well, I don't... All right. Oh, wait, I get it now. Well, it's still... I'm happy to see you.
Yeah.
I'm glad the floors got cleaned, even though they were only cleaned by,
That place was a dump. I like it here anyways. This is much better. Better my friends.
Oh, yeah. And thanks for the grub.
No problem.
Hey, Artie, love the new red arm.
Thank you. It is all the rage in the droid community.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that.
That's
Oh my goodness. What if a red arm is a sign of like droid independence?
Droid solidarity. The droid solidarity red arm.
Initializing conversation mode. Nice weather we're having for a rebellion, huh?
Yeah, great weather for a rebellion. What would be bad weather for a rebellion? I don't. Thanks, Artie. Thanks for the grub, anyway.
Go local sports team.
Have like a generic pennant on him.
Go local sport.
Pops out of his shoulder. Beep.
All right, just give me my coffee.
Artie
Yeah,
pulls
right.
a cup out of his chassis where he's got a Mr. Coffee and pours you a
Percolating
fresh...
away.
Yep.
Great. Well, that gives me hope. If Artie's made it this far, we can make it even further.
Sorry, I have dishes.
He goes and starts washing dishes.
Okay, yeah. I'm holding up the line, obviously.
If you understood the nuances of droid communication, you know he's flirting with the dishwasher, but you can't tell.
We don't. Okay, right.
Good old
Dishes.
Artie.
In air quotes.
All right, so after breakfast, everyone kind of starts assembling in the hangar bay, cup of coffee in hand, a couple people having a small round carb disc.
Hey, does anybody see Tenga around? We got to get our team.
Yeah, Tenga's standing up on the catwalk. You'd swear he hasn't moved, actually. He's exactly where he was last night.
No, so
I think everybody's probably going to gather around and
In
we'll
here.
have some kind of meeting where we'll all discuss exactly what the plans are.
Yeah, you see Weewa actually trying to make her way up to the catwalk, and the goon droids kind of stop her, block her off. You can't hear the conversation, but she's not getting past them right now.
right on. We see they got him in private mode or whatever. Well, I'm gonna double check our things and just check with the gang and make sure that Zen and Bear have all their stuff. Just get ready and hang out here in the hangar. Wait for this thing to go down and look around for some people that look like might be Jink Janko's, because he's got like pit fighters and stuff like that.
Yeah, you recognize a couple of dudes you hauled from the Scorch Mark.
Yeah,
Right.
the pile of unconscious bodies.
Yeah.
Hey.
So you've got 3 humans and a Trandoshan, and you can see that group kind of milling about separate from the rest of Jink Janko's men, kind of talking in hushed tones, used that kind of stuff.
Transition, the tall, lizard-looking guys like the bounty hunter Bosk
Yes.
Oh,
in episode
okay.
5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
look really
big,
scary.
giant eyeballs, really long arms, and they don't wear shoes because they've got big clawed feet.
Well, and cankles, which is like they make cankles intimidating, that's
Weird.
crazy.
Well, they're scaled.
Hey, Zen,
Yeah.
I think I see some of Jenko's guys over there seem to be sort of milling around waiting for somebody. Can you, why don't you go say, hey?
Why do I was going to be the one that talks to everybody?
I'll go
I'm
talk to
kidding.
him.
I'm kidding.
And then you're like, no, I'm kidding. I go stepping. He's like, no, I'll do it anyway. Get out of my way. All right, well, I'll walk over there, or we can all go over there, is what I'm thinking.
All right, so the
Just
3 of you
chit-chat.
go approach this kind of group off to the side by the stairs to the catwalk. All right. They see you approaching, and they sort of stop whispering and look back over their shoulder at you ever so slightly.
Good morning.
And they all turn to face you, except for the Trandoshan, who's trying not to look in your eyes. Yeah, and is kind of to himself.
Yeah, those guys are tough to read.
He's got some of that really good bacon egg thing in his teeth. So.
It is law.
Yeah, there's for as many blasters there are, you think there'd be one Griffin toothpick, but
How are you boys this morning?
we're all right. Except we got some weird thing to do. Jink told us we got to go do whatever Tenga want, and now we got to talk to some weird. I don't know.
It might be us. We might be the weird I don't know you're looking for. We'll get it cleared up.
They look really like concerned.
You guys are all looking in good health.
Oh yeah, Tenga, Jink were having some problems, and looks like we were on the receiving end of it, which is not great.
Well, you're all on your feet now.
Yeah, but I mean, my stomach is really messed up.
But did you have some of that great, not really quiche?
Yeah, and it didn't help, surprisingly. It was largely the robot assault droid shooting me in the stomach with a blaster, even on stun. Still rumbles your guts pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you guys aren't up to the task, and I turn around and walk away.
Well, it's not that we're not up to it. Yeah, what are we supposed to be doing?
We're going to be doing a jailbreak.
Well, if these are the guys.
Yeah, we could be. It doesn't. We'll see how it goes here. But if you guys are assigned with us, we're going to be busting some people who need rescuing out of the spaceport.
Yeah, that sounds like what we were told, but they said they were like... He kind of looks around to make sure nobody's listening. He said they weren't normal. You know what I mean? Like, not... I don't even know.
Not normal.
He doesn't even want to say anything.
That would be us. We're your Huckleberry. We're your not normal.
I don't think the not normality is landing when I say not normal.
We're going to charge an Imperial-controlled spaceport
Yeah, normal's not going to help.
and take a bunch of civilians and criminals and family out of the spaceport and flee from an Imperial assault. She's right.
And
Normal would hinder us here.
Do you guys have
You got to ride?
How many people will it fit?
I mean, depending on how we pack them in, we could probably get 30 or 40 in if we needed to.
Sounds perfect.
Great.
Zen is much more charismatic than I am able to play him, so I want to win these guys over with a dice roll.
All right. Because they think Tenga's trying to kill them. And this is how he's chosen to do it.
But this is a really good idea. This is what I think.
All right. Going to be 1 challenge die and 1 difficulty die.
Okay.
You've got help, obviously.
One from each?
Yep.
And you still have your presence is 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I got 4 successes.
That's 1 for each. No! I don't even get a traitor.
Not yet.
All right. So as you're giving your super charismatic speech, the transition goes, and the other 3 guys all kind of stop and look at him, and then he points at Bear's belt, and then they all shut up.
Yeah, I was wondering if Bear was going to have to make a show of force.
I figured the reason, like as soon as the transition wouldn't look us in the eye, I figured somebody had mentioned the lightsaber, and so they all think we're Jedi. They're scared of us.
And they think we're gonna mind control
We're
them.
either
Yeah, you know
Jedi
how, like-
or we're crazy people.
In the middle of a disinformation campaign, like, yeah.
The
you
Morning
guys
Whispers.
You guys have been anything from Vader himself to, like, just 3 jackholes that are running
Total
around
frauds.
in the desert. Yeah.
Like, these charlatans don't know what they're doing.
So Tenga clangs the hilt of his blaster on the railing of the catwalk 3 or 4 times really hard.
Okay.
It rings and echoes down through the hangar, and the echo kind of quiets all of the voices as it passes them. And Tenga holds it for a while. Everyone's just looking up at him. All right, now. We're going to load up. We're going to hit that forward operating base, and we're going to hit it hard, and you're going to dump every ordnance you have into it. We are going to wipe it off the surface of this planet. Janko, you and your boys are on the ground assault, and I swear, you cut and run, I will turn my fight around, I will fly it straight into that gut of yours. Janko kind of looks down. You can see his men sort of
They're
shaking their head. You know,
they're cowed.
Yeah, they're still getting whipped even at this moment. Now we got some crazy folk doing some other nonsense, but y'all don't got to worry none about that.
Smile big and wave.
The transition ducks his head. And puts his head
I duck my head as well a little bit, like, oh, Zen.
I push Zen's hand down.
Okay, there you go.
But the important thing here is they can't keep food. They can't keep medicine. They can't keep our lives from us any longer. And the people don't got nothing to fight back with. So today we doing it for them. Get in your ships. And he turns and starts walking down the catwalk.
I'm gonna call
People
out.
are already jumping upstairs like,
So the crowd erupts a little bit. They're like, yeah, We're doing it for them.
No, they don't do any of that. They're doing it for Tenga. They are not doing anything. Everything that these guys are doing, you can tell 100% is for Tenga. Not a stitch of it is for anybody else.
Except,
Maybe themselves, because they think they're going to end up, getting some loot out of it. But this is every favor Tenga has. He's called it in for this.
Gotcha. But Gree's sentiment is definitely he's doing it for them.
Sounds like we have one heck of a distraction coming.
Yep. So Tenga jumps into his heavily modified headhunter called the Duchess.
Oh, wicked.
So he's one of the first ones in the ship, even though he was on the catwalk. So they're out kind of flying. They're starting maneuvers as everyone else is filing into the starcrafts and land transports they're going to be taking. Some are modified buses. You got a couple
maybe some
work trucks, basically like you were driving. In fact, you're pretty sure the one that had your crane in it, somebody just took out of the hangar and is heading to the forward operating base.
Pre-flight the speeder bikes and then
Yep.
talk to which one of them is a pilot?
Which one of who is the pilot?
The Jinx guys. We have 4 guys. Right?
Okay, so mechanically they're a minion team, so they're all the pilot. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, they basically work exactly like the Stormtrooper minions do. So the 4 of them don't actually have any skills themselves, but I mean they have skills, but they don't have ranks.
I understand.
So it depends on how many of them are there is what the rank is.
The other thing is they have what, like a cargo van,
Yeah, basically.
cargo speeder
Yep, cargo speeder van.
to hold people.
Yep.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Everyone else has kind of left the base. The spaceport's quite a bit closer than the forward operating base, especially because they're going the long way around. They're crossing the old continent with the fighters. The idea is that Janko hits first, and then they follow with the aerial assault shortly after.
Okay.
We're going to bring up the map
Uh-huh.
of the starport,
Yep.
Cool.
the city. There's a lit somewhere low that we can sit and wait,
Okay.
so that when we see the TIE fighters and everything leave,
Okay.
we can.
All right, so you
charge
guys are
in.
going to head out, stick to the cliffs, try to find some cover near there to hang out, and wait until ships start leaving the spaceport, and then
Right.
you're going to use that.
And
That sounds like a great
I want to
idea.
link our comms together so we
Okay.
can have easy access to the team and the 4 edition gang members that are coming and helping us out, so we can all
Perfect.
we get separated chat.
And I've got jelly in his jelly pouch, and I have severely limited his intake of sausage and egg breakfast due to his tendency to get car sick.
I am flipping a dark side point. You did not successfully limit Jelly's intake on breakfast foods.
There's no getting around it. Somebody
You
was
cannot.
feeding.
It is this creature's destiny to gorge itself on RT's awesome breakfast.
I discovered the trail of crumbs down my leg.
You guys are cutting across the dual sun high noon of the Bava desert landscape.
I'm driving in one of them. And
Absolutely.
Somebody else is driving the other one.
I'll take one because I've got the ground pilot. I think that's what it's called.
All right.
Cool.
Zen, who are you riding with?
I'm riding with Bear.
Okay.
Excellent. The cargo speeder is trailing a good bit behind it. Really can't keep up with Tenga's souped up land speeders. But you guys find a nice little rocky outcrop to kind of park everything behind. You can't really hide the cargo speeder that well, but at this point, there's not really much you can do about it. So you guys are right outside the spaceport proper, which is sort of outside the main part of the city. It sits on one of the cliff sides in case it has some kind of lift-off kind of issues. So
T6 taught us in our espionage lessons to take what's expected to be there and put it there, and we have a cargo speeder.
Oh, that carries cargo.
Let's put the bikes in the cargo speeder and drive it up the gate. Getting in has always been easy.
well, you've got that back door too.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to.
Drive it up to the back door.
Well, I suggest we have so we only have a couple people up there in the cabin, and the rest of us will be in the back with the speeders.
Well, it's an Imperial controlled thing right now. I actually think that Bear and
One of the boys.
Bob Starscreamer should sit in the front.
Okay, so
Okay, so we camouflage up the cargo truck so that it looks like a catering vehicle.
Okay, cool.
We load our speeder bikes into the back. We put Bear in the driver's seat.
Okay.
The rest of us in the back with the
All right. I need a roll though for sure.
ready to come out blasting if we have to.
yes.
What would be camouflaging a cargo van? Is that skullduggery or is that deception?
I think it could be one or the
I think
other,
it'd be
but it's
deception.
Whichever one you have more of, let's do that, because they both default to the characteristic of cunning, so I'm okay with either.
I have 2 cunning and 1 deception.
I have
Nice. I have nothing.
my cunning is 3. There we go. I knew I was good for something.
And difficulty is going to be 2 challenge die.
Do the boys have any deception? Do they
The
help?
boys are helping. You can get your boost die.
So we get another boost die.
Another boost die. Well, all right. Oh, man. Come on. 4 advantages is the net. That's what I rolled.
All right.
Which is
So what happens with 4 advantages?
I actually think that however many of those 4 we need to spend, somehow at least one of the stormtroopers standing on the gate that we're approaching is the guy who let us in to the forward operating base. Because he's on Tenga's payroll?
How many would that take? How many advantages does that beautiful scenario take?
That'll be all of them. But yeah, all right, I'll give it to you.
I mean, that's not a guaranteed in, but it's at least a
It's
door.
an advantage.
Yeah.
We completely believe we did a great job. I think even the trainers are going,
So you guys want to be in position with this truck when the noise starts, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so you guys, Bear, you're driving up to the spaceport with Bob next to you. He's one of Tenga's guys. He's kind of chatty, so he's real nervous.
Shut up. Let
all right,
me
Bob, she's
do
a
the
little on edge.
talking.
Yes. I don't even
All right,
know
so
what
I
to call you.
drive up, space equivalent of rolling down the window.
So it's Tenga's man, actually. So as you pop your head out, he reaches for his blaster, you can kind of tell, but he stops and he looks around.
George, my man.
My name's not George.
My bad. You do work for Tenga, though, right?
George! Get inside! So he opens the door.
Thank you.
He hits his control panel, and the doors kind of slide open. And it's a little cargo area where you can unload the thing safely. And you're pulling the cargo speeder in. You can kind of see not George looking around, and then he just drops his blaster and starts running.
Are there any windows back here in the cargo area, like on the back doors or screen space? Or
Sure,
anything?
yeah, absolutely.
Can we kind of peer out? I just wanted to know if I can take in what's going on.
Oh no, not
outside.
out into the spaceport. No, you could
Okay.
just there's some windows to the area behind you, but yeah, you can't see into the spaceport.
No,
So it's like
those of us that are
like
in
a
the back.
loading bay, like a concrete loading bay. It's kind of the ceiling's way taller than it should be because just in case they actually have a spaceship that needs to come in here. It's got a giant sort of service door, like a roll-up door that'll lead you into the kitchen, and then a couple little normal sized doors that'll take you into the spaceport proper. Security doors. So
I'm going to jump out the back door real quick,
okay.
grab his blaster rifle, and jump back in.
All right, so you kick open the back door of the cargo speeder, and hop out, but you can hear it screech before you can see him. As you're bending down to pick up the rifle, you look up and there's 4 TIE fighters cutting across the sky, banking hard right.
So we
There
hear
they go.
It's go time.
It is go time.
Well, that's all for this week, but come back next week and see if Bear, Gree, and Zen can survive the season finale of the Dice for Brains podcast. And don't forget to rate and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks. We'll see you next week.